Hey everyone, my name is Parrish. I'd like to take a few minutes, if I could, to just bring some thought to everyone out there that believes in evolution, that believes that we arrived here just out of random chance, out of accidents from over millions and millions of years, and that has created the universe as they claim that we see today, that was created from a big energy burst. That's something that started this small 14.5 billion years ago. I'd like to raise some questions and some thoughts that would hopefully stimulate your brain to think beyond the aspects of natural science. First of all, I'd like to give you my position where I personally stand. I stand that in Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Right there in that first sentence of the Holy Bible, we can see that God created time, space, and matter. In the beginning, time, God created the heavens. Heavens is going to be space. And then he created the earth. Earth, the actual foundations of the earth, the matter he called earth, which would be matter. So time, space, and matter is given to us in the first book of the Bible, the first scriptures in the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now we also, I believe that if you jump over John 1, it says that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now if we take that scripture and we look at it and really dissect it, what does that mean? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Well, I look back and I thought, and I threw this around in my brain for hours and hours and hours, real early in the morning. I woke up and God was really talking to me, and he was just showing me that nothing in the universe can exist without a name. Even though it's there, but it has no substance, it has no meaning without a name. If I just told you I was going fishing and you didn't know what a fish was, or a fishing pole, or a boat, or water, or if you did not have these words to describe all these items which I was going to go do, you wouldn't have a clue what I was going to go do. Well, I'm going to do that and take that and take that and put it on that and go catch that, and everything would be just that, and nothing would have any substance, nothing would have any meaning and all. But when God spoke things into existence, they had to obey him. It says he's named the stars, and he knows the stars by name, and he knows the number of hairs on your head. So he physically has a name for the hairs on your head. Every single thing on the universe has to obey him. Now, I was watching last night on Discovery, Stephen Hawking, supposed to be one of the most brilliant men on the planet. And here we are, that the evolutionist has a problem with me, has a problem with Christians when we say we believe in a creator that created everything in the universe, what we can see and what we cannot see. And they tell us that comic book for grown-ups, the Holy Bible, and they get into all this foolishness and say that we're the ones that are crazy. But this guy sits on national TV and says he believes in aliens. And if aliens ever came to this planet, they would do us like Columbus did to the native Indians when they come to this country. But they consider him to be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then here we are, because we believe in a creator, that we're idiots. Now later I end up watching, after Stephen Hawking does his things about time travel, about how the fastest thing in the universe is light, and nothing can exceed the travel of light. Then the problem I have with that, is in a laboratory, even at Harvard, they've slowed light down to zero in a laboratory, and they've actually sped up the speed of light over 150 times its actual speed. So to sit there and claim that nothing could travel faster than light, it's been proven in a laboratory. And if we could do it in a laboratory, I'm pretty sure out of all the energy that was released during the time of evolution, which claims to be that it traveled at 100 million times faster than the speed of light, the universe was expanding that fast that light still travels at a consistent rate. Maybe it's a consistent rate as we know of it, because of our ways of measuring it can only calculate that fast. We use electricity, we use atom clocks, we use all these things to measure time, but the measurement itself has a flaw in the measurement itself. It's like the satellites that do our GPS in outer space. The ones in outer space, I forget the exact number, please don't hold me to this quote, but the exact number is that they're a few milliseconds off every minute or every hour or whatever, and they have to recalibrate themselves every single day, or we could be off as much as 6 miles, because supposedly time is slower in outer space because of the mass of the world. The earth affects the time then, and this is where he comes up with this time travel. Well, I got news for you, Steve Hawkins. If you travel a gazillion miles an hour, you're only an hour away from where you started. So if you turned around and traveled a gazillion miles an hour back, you would be at the exact same time at the time that I was. There's no such thing as time travel. Is there a possibility that there could be leaps in distance where we can travel from one distance to the next, many light years away instantly or very fast from wormholes and all? I'll give you that theory. I'll give you that. It's absolutely plausible. I think it's probably something that we could look into scientifically and discover later on, that the possibility it could be done. But to sit there and tell me I can travel back in time or forward in time, no, man. Time exists where you are, no matter where you are. Time doesn't change. Take your little clock and throw it in the garbage, because a clock is nothing but a way that we have determined to tell time. It has nothing to do with the instant that you're in right now. So if me and you start running, and you're traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I'm traveling 100 miles an hour, and we both turn around and run back at the exact same speed, we'll end up at the same spot. That's my theory behind that. Now, going forward to next show that I saw in Discovery, which was right after Steve Hawkins on time travel, which was very interesting. One of the best documentaries I think I've seen, as in just being explained to where everyday person could try to understand it if they had shutters over their eyes and wasn't looking at the absolute truth. When they got into the Big Bang, and I think Mike Rowe was actually the one narrating, and did a fabulous job, man. The effects were awesome, and I really, really enjoyed it and all, but they just can't seem to grasp the fact that the biggest and the hardest thing to explain in the theory of evolution is that nothing created everything. They all agree that we're not sure if there's a beginning of the universe or an end to the universe, but they do agree that it's like taking a video. If you take a video of an explosion, a nuclear blast, you can stop that video and you can rewind it back and tell when the blast happened. Well, there's some truth to that, because you're stopping the blast where you know the outcome of the blast. Now, when you're trying to scope down the blast of this Big Bang theory, you don't have a clue what the scope of this explosion is. How far out is it to bring it back down? It may have just started. And it traveled so fast, according to what I said earlier, as they said, I forget what the terminology they had for it, that it was 100 million times faster than the speed of light is what this energy exploded, and the universe just came about. Now, one problem I have with that, first of all, is if it traveled this fast only 14.5 billion years ago, and it's traveling hundreds of millions of miles faster than the speed of light, even though the energy has cooled down and slowed down, it slowed down from hundreds of millions of times faster than light, to the speed of light, in 14.5 billion years. It's slowed down to that. Calculations just don't add up. And this is just Pear Stuckey here. I ain't no genius, but these are common sense questions that just don't make sense. And if it don't make sense, it's got to be nonsense. That's my theory. One thing I will say that God just showed me that they did get right, from nothing, and they said all the energy of the universe was the size of a dot on this page or this video. If the dot of this pencil on this video, which you can barely see, all the